I don't know if it matters or not, but like right now, our family is going through a lot because since Jamari has been incarcerated, we just lost. At this point, I just wish Jamari can be at home because it's a time like I just want all my family together.
A young father who was raising his son since the baby was 5 months old sits in prison while his family begs a judge to bring him home. His mother and a community leader swear he's changed, but the prosecutor has a very different story about his past.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Good mornings. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Gigi Hughes, Gigihughes.
And for the record, state defense, I do know Miss Hughes. We have not had breakfast, lunch, or dinner or been to either's homes. No gifts have been exchanged. So is there any objection to the court hearing her testimony?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No, and Judge, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And Judge, just to let the record be fair, I also do know GB.
Okay.
And likewise, no gifts or anything like that. And there's no objection from defense.
I feel left out, but I don't object.
Maybe we should have lunch. I don't know.
I would like that. May I proceed?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes, on behalf, you contacted my office and you indicated that you had a relationship with Mr. Simmons's family. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I spoke to you and I indicated that Mr. Simmons had been sentenced by this honorable court to a sentence of 4 years. And you said that perhaps you'd like the opportunity to address the court regarding that sentence. And so, are there some things regarding Mr. Simmons and his sentence you'd like to address to the court?
Yes, sir.
And if the court, if I may, I'd just like to expedite the process. I'd just like to let Ms. Hughes speak on Mr. Simmons' behalf.
Sure.
Okay, Ms. Hughes, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, Judge, currently Jamari is in CDL program. My son owns a trucking company. He works within that group of recruiting young men who might need to be steered back. But the most important thing is Jamari has been raising his son, who's currently, I'm babysitting now in my home with my 5-year-old son. We're related through this family that Jamari's sister is the baby's mother to my grandchildren. So I know the family pretty well. But he's been working to really kind of steer his life right. I was most impressed with this fathering of his child. He's had his child since he was 5 months old. I know he was currently on probation. I know he goes to the classes that we're holding now at Sacred Baptist Church so that they can kind of steer and help with their anger. But I don't know if Jamari attends the first 3, but we're going to get him back in that program. And we're going to ensure that he gets his CDL. I think he needed 3 more weeks to complete that. But because of the monitor, I think it limited some of his time. But, I talked lawyer when I said I swear. Oh, I'm sorry. So what we're doing now is just currently working with him in the community with the program that I wrote a grant for. So hopefully we can get him. Well, he is on the right track. Just that incident that happened that we are trying to make sure we keep him straight, especially for his son's sake.
Ms. Hughes, if the court was to grant our request and reconsider his sentence, would you continue to assist Mr. Simmons in his road to recovery and continue him to help steer him in getting back on track and help him continue to raise his son and be a good father and be a good contributor to society?
Yes, most definitely. Because we do check with them once a week once they get back in that CDL program. And I think there's some more classes that he's currently taking. His mother knows more about those. So he was on the track. You know, it's just that track and he got steered off really fast. Just things happen that he just didn't control.
And you have been in contact with his family while he has been in TDC, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And his mother's here also today, is that also correct?
Actually, his son is at my home now with my 5-year-old grandson. So,
anything else you'd like to tell the judge on behalf of Mr. Simmons, or that you think would help her as he makes this decision today on the many different things she could do to help Mr. Simmons in this situation?
No, but we will monitor him once a week. We will stay in touch with him and check on the baby. Truth is the baby's name, but we will check with him every week and make sure he's doing okay. A lot of positive interjection there, so they tend to work out. I've had no repeats so far, thank God, but it's working pretty good.
All right.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right. Any questions?
Just a few questions.
Yes, sir.
I mean, one, you don't know any of the facts about the case, the aggravated assault that we have to read.
Well, yes, I know a little bit.
A little bit of it.
I know his car was being vandalized.
And do you know the victims associated with this case?
No, I don't.
Okay. And you don't know that he was actually convicted of a burglary of a habitation years ago. Are you aware of that?
No, I know he had some juvenile issues,
Right.
but that's why we were trying to steer him before he really.
And that's what I'm speaking of. He actually
Right.
had a burglary of habitation as a juvenile, but then he also was on probation for possession of marijuana 4 excess to 5 pounds. Are you aware of that?
No.
Thank you very much. No further questions.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Thank
all I
you
have.
so
All
much.
right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd call his mother, Miss Simmons.
All right, Ms. Simmons, if you'll come forward. Hello.
Hello.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the
Hey.
record.
April Simmons.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Simmons, I know you've spoken to the court before regarding your son. And I would like to briefly talk to you. Have you had a chance to remain in contact with him since he's been in the prison system?
Yes.
And have you seen changes in him and his attitude since he's been incarcerated?
Yes.
And can you briefly describe for the court some of the changes you've observed? Or have you seen him in person or just talked to him on the
Just-
phone? Okay, can you kind of tell the judge what you've heard or what you've noticed as you've spoken to him?
Just pretty much, he's in good spirit, but his energy, like this, I don't know how to explain it, but it's different. I can tell the difference. Like, he got his head on right. He just got good energy. I just tell that, I just know the difference with the conversations that we have. But like I say, most importantly is it's about his son. And then I forget to get emotional. But also, I don't know if it matters or not, but like right now, our family is going through a lot because since Jamari has been incarcerated, we just lost my nephew. He just died on the 5th with the shooting that occurred recently. And then I have another nephew that's fighting for his life. So at this point, I just wish Jamari can be at home because it's a time like I just want all my family together. Pretty much, I did. But I can't tell the difference. Like I say, he got his head on right.
Now, you realize today we're asking the court, there's several things the judge could consider at this point. She could, if she chose to, she could reconsider her decision and grant him the probation we originally asked for with all the conditions that we presented to the court on that day. She could reconsider her sentence. She could potentially grant him the credit for the 238 days he wore the monitor while he was awaiting her decision. There's lots of things she could do today, and we would of course appreciate any consideration she gave us.
Yes.
But let's talk just briefly about True, his son, and how old is he now?
5.
And when we were before the court on the day that she made her decision, we told the judge he was the sole provider for his son. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And so what's happened to True since then? Where does he live? Who's taking care of him? What's his status?
He stays with us, but with me and my family. But since it's the summertime, like he just goes to Miss Gigi house or he go to my daughter's house. So it's with the family. It's just because everyone has children with his cousin and him, so we try to just keep them all together. But he's in a stable environment. It's just we got a lot of siblings, so he goes from cousin to cousin or at my house mainly. He's just amongst with the family.
And it's your hope that if the judge was to reconsider, that Drew could be back with his dad, his dad could go back to getting back to work.
Yes,
And at least that part of Drew's life could be somewhat more stable.
yes.
Anything else you'd like to tell the judge before, as she considers our request? I know you're nervous and I know it's hard. And I understand that.
I just hope he can come home or just be back with the family. Just do the right thing.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, any questions?
Yes, just briefly, Ms. Simmons.
Yeah.
I mean, one, you're aware that your son had a previous conviction, juvenile for burglary of a habitation. And that was in 2013, and then he was adjudicated on that in 2017. And then at that time, he actually, in 2020, he was on probation for possession of marijuana, 4 ounces to 5 pounds for deferred. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
And are you aware that on that day of possession of 4 ounces to 5 pounds, that happened on May 31st, 2019? Around that time. I know you probably don't know the exact dates,
Yeah.
but you aware that in the commission of that possession of that marijuana, he also had a handgun in possession at that time.
With if I can remember, like I believe, I don't know how actually with the marijuana and the handgun, he was from my understanding, it was supposed to be some kind of a different identity thing. So he was supposed to be fighting the charge from what I know from them two charges. So it was supposed to have been a mistaken identity for that.
Well, you did plead to that and he took 4 years deferred. Are you aware of that? And in fact, at the time of the commission of what he's currently serving prison time for, this ag assault, he was actually on deferred for that possession of marijuana. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. And so going to the ag assault that he's currently sitting in prison for 4 years, are you aware of any of the facts on that case? Did you speak with your son about the case?
To be honest, no, I mean, to be honest, I didn't actually speak to him because like my son don't try to bring a lot of negativities to me, but like or support, I just try to.
Of course. I mean, you're his mother. I mean, you should support him all the way, no matter what happens. And I'm not faulting you for that at all. I was just asking, in general, did you have any knowledge? And you're saying you don't because you didn't really discuss that with him. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all the witnesses I have, Judge.
All right, the court will hear brief argument.
Oh, yeah, the judge, state will go first. State's still in the position, Judge, that, I mean, assessing 4 years, Texas Department of Corrections for this individual for the crime that was committed is appropriate. It's actually on the lower side of any type of sentence. So we believe that the 4 years sentence is appropriate in this case.
Mr. Bach?
Judge, first, we appreciate the court giving us the opportunity to be heard. We do believe that, as we said the day that you sentenced him, there were lots of things available to the court. And I'm sure the court still has in its possession the list of things we proposed that day. Of course, we would love for the court to consider bringing him back and placing him on supervision. If that's still not something the court would consider, we would appreciate any consideration the court could give to either one, reconsidering the number of years sentencing him or in the alternative, potentially giving him credit at least for the 238 days that he wore the monitor while he was awaiting the resolution of these cases. But that's our request, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you. So to his family, I want you to know that when I sentence people to prison, I don't do that lightly. I don't just throw out years. I don't say, 20 years, 30 years, and just forget about it. There is a reason behind the years that I sentence people. For example, they may be someone who's before me, who's charged with an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. They may end up with 2 years, or they may end up with 10 or maybe 20. Everything for me is on a case by case basis. And I do remember this case because I remember all of the cases that come before me. And there are a host of things that were going on. And that's the reason for the 4-year sentence. And I think that was an appropriate sentence for him. And we can go off the record. Considered your argument and your motion is denied.
Would you consider the request for the 238 days credit while he was on the monitor?
No. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
May we be excused?
All right. Thank you. And you did a great service to your client.
Thank you, Judge.